Caitlin Clark didn't just show up at the Indy 500. She took over the entire event in seconds. While the crowd went wild for Caitlin Clark, one reaction is sparking serious debate online.
It's interesting that the Indy 500 decided to do what the WNBA refuses to do, and that's make Caitlin Clark the face of their organization. So you may have seen the other day that the WNBA were promoting, I guess, a triple header, a bunch of games.
They didn't use her.
And when it came to the Indiana Fever game, they chose a player averaging 1 point a game and not Caitlin Clark, who's averaging like 28 points a game.
Or Leah Boston, former first overall pick.
They decided to stab her in the back again.
Damn.
Caitlin Clark just showed up at the Indy 500 and completely stole the spotlight. Everything stopped when she arrived. The crowd went crazy, and people couldn't believe it. Fans were shouting everywhere, and social media is still talking about it. Was it the anthem, a half-court shot, or just one of the biggest sports moments of the year? What happened next will surprise you.
Now, despite there not being any basketball going on, Caitlin Clark has found her way back in the media. Today, she is at the Indy 500 to be the Grand Marshal. And you know Caitlin Clark came out in a grand style, man. Thousands of fans literally is at the Indy 500, and Caitlin Clark shut the place down. Now, videos is starting to come out online, pictures, and we finna react to it all. My girl Caitlin Clark put on a spectacular performance last time she played.
Did you know one basketball star can walk into America's biggest racing event and completely take over the atmosphere? That's basically what happened when Caitlin Clark showed up at the Indianapolis 500. The noise level went through the roof, and the whole place felt different instantly. It was no longer just a race. It turned into pure fan chaos and excitement.
And they hate Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I know
the Indy
why.
500 came out and said, we'd like you to be our Grand Marshal. So Caitlin Clark can be the face of the Indy 500, but cannot be the face of the WNBA. Make that make sense.
I'll tell you how it makes sense.
Oh, that's right. They hate her maybe because she's, I don't know, a straight white woman?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
That's not why.
Is that possible?
Paige Beckers is a better player. Here's why.
Is that possible?
She's not complaining to the refs nonstop with them.
She stepped into that role with an effortless confidence that made it clear she's no longer just a basketball player. She has become a major cultural force, someone institutions are quick to embrace and amplify before anyone else can.
She was 22, 2-9, man. Just a lit weekend for Caitlin Clark. Now, we do know her parents. It was rumored that her parents, her aunts and uncles, and everybody came in from out of town for this moment. There was Caitlin with thousands of fans at the Indy 500.
Hey, it's Caitlin. I'm here at the Indy 500 with all my friends. Excited to be here for the first time.
So this is her first time there. And yeah, man, Lexi Hall looked like she came to show support with Caitlin Clark.
The decision to give her a central spotlight at the Indy 500 wasn't just a random PR move. It was a clear recognition that her influence goes far beyond basketball, reaching into major cultural moments where speed, tradition, and massive crowds come together.
Caitlin Clark out at the Indy 500 today, ladies and gentlemen, looking fresh, looking like the global icon and superstar that she is. You know, they've been putting Clark's picture on a lot of the race cars and stuff because she's the most electrifying woman in women's basketball. Dope to see Clark out here having a good time. A certain fan base always talking about Met Gala or who's more marketable.
The crowds didn't just calmly react to her arrival, they exploded with excitement. The stands went wild, and security lines got extremely long as people rushed to catch a glimpse of her. Fans were everywhere asking for autographs, and so many phones were raised in the air that it looked like a sea of lights above the track. Nothing about it felt planned. It felt like real, spontaneous chaos, the kind that happens when a huge star shows up and the crowd can't hold back. What made it even more surprising is how easily she took attention away from the actual race before it even began. Online, people instantly started reacting, sharing clips of the crowd, the noise, and the stunned commentators trying to process how a basketball player ended up becoming the biggest moment at one of the world's biggest racing events.
Man, the takeover is underway. Caitlin Clark taking over at the Indy 500. Take a look at this here. A woman of the people. See, now I gotta go to an Indy 500 to see what's really going on. I gotta go to one now. Indy 500 and F1 is on my list.
Grown adults were reacting like they had never seen a celebrity before. In a way, it makes sense. Caitlin Clark draws attention on a different level. She brings in people who don't even usually follow sports. Families, casual fans, and even racing fans who just happened to be there all ended up getting caught up in the moment, chanting her name between engine sounds. And as her popularity keeps growing, it also keeps her in the middle of constant comparison with other stars in the game, including Angel Reese. That rivalry conversation is always active online, with fans on both sides debating impact, popularity, and influence. But what's clear is that Caitlin's fan base shows up everywhere. They fill arenas, flood social media, and travel just to see her play. There's a strong energy around her that makes every appearance feel bigger than just basketball.
Multiple 20-plus, 30-point games and all these assists leading your team. You can do off-the-court shit like this in the middle of this season, and it's cool because Clark is a hooper and she can make layups. It's great to see Clark out here represent. I think she said this is her first time doing it, but it's great because, like I say, with the NASCAR, the race car shit, they've been putting Clark's picture on some of the cars. That's dope to be represented like that as an athlete, especially for women's sports. Just growing the game, man. We love you, Caitlin.
Fans of Angel Reese are loyal and supportive, but they don't always create the same level of massive public attention where entire events feel centered around one player. That's why the contrast gets talked about so much when compared to Caitlin Clark. Her presence tends to draw huge crowds and media attention wherever she goes, not just in basketball but in other major public events too. On the court, she also carries a lot of attention for the Indiana Fever. The team has had ups and downs with consistency and fan turnout, but whenever Caitlin is involved, interest and viewership rise quickly, turning games into must-watch moments. Despite all the pressure that comes with that kind of spotlight, she is often described as staying calm and focused without getting visibly overwhelmed by it. Her family has been part of that journey from the start, consistently showing support throughout her rise. Even teammates like Lexi Hull have been present at big moments, showing the support system around her as she continues to grow into one of the most talked about names in the sport.
So, let me start off by saying this. The WNBA is failing Caitlin Clark. It just is what it is. And if you guys want to sit here and there's people who are going to come into my comments and say, oh my God, here you are, black woman, caping for this white girl. I am. I'm putting the cape on for her because it...
That's the first thing they say. That's the first thing they say. Oh, well, you're black. Why are you defending her? That's the first thing they always gonna say.
It has to be said, and I have to call it out and call it for what it is. It is starting to become evident. I'm somebody who knows...
What separates Caitlin Clark from many rising stars is her unusually wide cross-audience appeal. She isn't just followed by traditional basketball fans in places like the Midwest. She also attracts people who don't normally watch the WNBA at all. At events like the Indy 500, even racing fans who usually have no interest in women's basketball find themselves paying attention simply because she's there. That mix of audiences is rare. Kids, parents, older fans, men and women, and people from very different backgrounds all seem to connect to the moment when she's involved. It creates a kind of shared excitement that goes beyond one sport at the same time. There's still debate around her level of impact, with some people questioning how much of it is sustainable. But the numbers people point to are hard to ignore. Ticket demand, TV viewership, merchandise sales, and online engagement all tend to rise when she is part of the spotlight.
All Daytona is, of course, the Indy 500, and Caitlin Clark was asked to come up there. We got some video, we got some pictures, and all of this is going absolutely crazy online. Let's check this out, her walking in. There she is, walking in right there. No sound. Pretty cool, pretty cool. There's also this entire red carpet situation. Let me just find it here. And
The league has spent years trying to solve the problem of mainstream attention and wider visibility. In the end, it may have come down to a rare kind of player like Caitlin Clark, that she's a god known for elite passing, deep-range shooting, and a style of play that often looks effortless. What makes her stand out isn't just skill, but how natural and confident she appears while doing it. That combination of performance and personality is powerful in today's attention-driven sports world. She doesn't just produce highlights. She turns regular games into must-watch moments that IT also puts things into perspective. Women's basketball has spent years fighting for more visibility, better broadcast coverage, and larger crowds. Now, with players like Clark producing consistently high-level and highly shareable moments, interest in the league has grown noticeably. Whether people view it as a turning point or just a surge in popularity, her impact on attention around the game is hard to ignore.